Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan, aka Kingdom Cards, and today we are going to take the chance to talk about Bobby Witt Jr. It's been a hot minute since I posted a video. It's been the dog days of summer and taking vacation. The Royals haven't been playing well, but last night Bobby Witt did some really cool things and thought this would be a great opportunity to talk about. Is he worth somebody investing in his rookie cards? Is he someone that the Royals should give a long-term deal? And I'm also going to show a couple of the cards that I have that are in my collection that are of Bobby Witt Jr. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of this video. All right, so as we mentioned earlier, Bobby Witt did some really cool things in the game last night. It was kind of funny. Me and a good buddy that I work with, we're going to actually go to one of the games this weekend, Friday or Saturday is what we were looking into. Trip got scheduled and he wasn't able to go. He's a big Twins fan, and so me being a big Royals fan, we were going to go together. And last night would have been the game to go to because Bobby Witt Jr. went 4 for 6. Oh yes, 4 for 6, 6 RBIs, and a walk-off grand slam, making up 4 of those 6 RBIs. So an awesome game by Bobby Witt Jr. And it got me thinking, is he somebody that it's worth investing in his cards? Is he somebody that is worth the Royals investing with a contract long term? So to look at that, I was looking at some of his numbers, as we were, excuse me guys, as I adjust my camera, there we go. Somebody that we should be looking at, somebody the Royals should be looking at and investing in. So I took a look at his numbers before I got on here and I wrote them all down just so that I wouldn't forget. And these are from Baseball Reference. So as of now, he's got a 257 batting average. He has a 296 on base percentage and a 451 slugging percentage. That equates to a 747 OPS. Now, that's not great. It's not bad. He's got a 2 WAR right now. I've been watching that throughout the year. He has been an ascending player. It kind of started around 1.3, was up at 1.7, now up at 2. So he is climbing up the ranks. I would expect maybe it might get as close as, if he keeps on this trajectory, maybe getting to 2.5 or a 3 WAR, which is a pretty good player. An all-star is about 4.5. So he's starting to climb up. Last year he had around a 1 WAR or a 0.7 or a 0.9 WAR. I can't remember exactly, but definitely is improving year over year. You look at the batting average, it's a little low. You look at the on-base percentage, that's not great. A sub 300 is not great. We definitely want to balloon that up a little bit. 451 slugging isn't bad. Like to see a little bit more helium there, but not a bad slugging percentage. So just for reference, I took another player, and I think perception is something that is important, right? That is important. And so this other player we're going to talk about, he's got a 748 OPS. All right, so he's 1 point better than Bobby Witt Jr. He's got a 252 batting average, a 318 on base percentage, so much better, more respectable on the on base, a 430 slugging, so much lower slugging. Who is that player, guys? I'll give you a minute. All right, I'll give you just a little bit longer, okay? That player this year who's got a 2.9 WAR, so a little bit higher, that player is Julio Rodriguez. And I think this is where perception is key because, last year Julio, as a rookie, he crushed it, right? And I don't have his rookie numbers in front of me, but I think he finished with like a 830 OPS, maybe an 840. Again, that's just off the top of my head, so those numbers could be way off. But, had a really good start to his season, or to his rookie, to his career, and is on a really good team, but yet his batting average, his OPS, like he's not that far off of Bobby Witt. I mean, he's 1 point different. So, and we're all, in the baseball card community, as a fan base, we're a fan of the, of the Mariners, but yet, where are we seeing, right? Like, where are we seeing the juice, if you will, still for Julio? And, I would also say, Julio, and again, I've had to kind of step away a little bit from baseball this season just because of the fact that the Royals have been so bad. I've had to kind of protect my mental health, if you will. But from my perspective, the Mariners are a pretty good team. And Bobby Witt, I was looking at the lineup last night. You got Miguel Garcia, who's got a 702 OPS, and you got one or two other guys that are in the 700s. Everybody else is in the sixes and low sixes in OPS. You do not have a good team around Bobby Witt Jr. You've got Salvi, Miguel Garcia, a couple of role players, if that, and that's it. The Mariners have got a much better team. So I think his numbers are actually pretty impressive. So from an investment baseball card, if I'm not a Royals fan, but I'm like, hey, is somebody Bobby Witt somebody I should bank on? What would my opinion be? Now I'm one of those that I get really irritated when people, kind of go wishy-washy, if you will. I get irritated a little bit when I'm watching, YouTube videos and they're like, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? And then they're like, well, let's wait and see. So I'm going to try and do my best to avoid that in this video, and it still might end up as a wait and see. But I would say I would pay attention to what the Royals do. So what I mean by that is the Royals aren't very, it's tough for the Royals right now because you have the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs in town, well-run organization in the Chiefs. And, I think John Sherman has gotten a lot of flack. I think he's probably running the team as best as he can at the moment because, if you don't have a lot of talent, should you be spending a lot of money? As that being said, for those that are out of town and don't know, the Royals are looking to get into a ballpark downtown, either in Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City, Missouri. And it's just not a good look when you've got the second worst team in all of baseball and you're asking for a lot of money. And you have not shown any investment really in your team other than some ancillary pieces. I think the Royals in the offseason, to me, this is what I do. I think for the fans too, I think you cannot, and also this year we had a kind of a questionable draft, we'll say. I think it's one that, on a positive side, we'll know really quickly whether or not, JJ Piccolo and the guys that are drafting, if it was Dayton Moore that was the problem, or if it's still JJ, because you're seeing, right, this draft is going to be one that's very polarizing, so you're either going to know really quickly if you got it right or you didn't. All that being said, I think it's very important that the Royals, to kind of show some faith in their fans and rewarding them, say, hey, we are going to make some, efforts to be good when that new stadium comes in. I think you need to sign some people up long term. Now, we got Salvi, but Salvi may not be good, unfortunately, by the time the Royals are good again. And so I think locking up somebody like a Bobby Witt Jr., and, if you can get him in the 150 to $250 million range, I think that's reasonable. Lock him up for a long period of time. I'm seeing some improvement if you trust your staff, if you trust your hitting. I think the biggest thing I'd like to see from Bobby Witt is more contact without losing that power. And if he can do that, if he can get in the 830, if he can get his OPS up in the 3s to 4s, that's a superstar guy. And I think this is actually a really good time if you're the Royals, because he had this huge helium, and this year I think he's showing improvement, but still he's not at where the hype was. He was the second overall pick. A lot of people saying he was one of the best shortstop prospects in a decade, and I think he is showing a lot of improvement still. I think the Royals made a good choice in that pick of Bobby Witt, but I think it would be very important to sign him to a long-term deal to give your fans confidence that there's another person that can lead the team. Bobby's got the hair, he's got the charisma. I think he's somebody that could be a good leader. And you need somebody, you got to give the fans something. You got to, get some attention on you, because those guys across the parking lot over there at Arrowhead Way, they're smoking you right now. They've got the best quarterback in the world. They might have one of the best athletes on the planet right now. And you having the second to worst record in baseball, it's not a good look. So, what does that mean for me? Would I invest in Bobby Witt Jr. cards? I'd have to look at his prices right now. I know they've come down some from when I was originally investing in him, which, that sucks a little bit, but that's okay. I did, though, see actually in a post, I think it might have been Card Ladder, that on like the top athletes being bought, Bobby Witt was like 10th or 11th in baseball. So there's still a lot of people interested in Bobby Witt. He hasn't lost all that helium. So if you can get a discount on him, I would try, getting some cards of color, some low, some numbered cards of him, some short prints. I'd probably take a flyer. Now, again, I am a Royals fan. I'd have to look at the numbers. But to me, especially if the Royals sign him to a long-term deal, I would definitely pull the trigger on some cards of his. If the Royals don't make that commitment, it's a little tricky. The other option you could have is he may be one of those that's like, hey, I'm not seeing the plan here in KC. If you keep seeing that improvement, even if the Royals don't lock him up, he may go to a better team. I hate saying that as a Royals fan. It really sucks that that's what the small town clubs have got to deal with, but it's also fact of life. So, bottom line, would I invest in Bobby Witt Jr. cards right now? I'd watch till the end of the year. I'd see if you're still seeing that improvement in his WAR. If he does in the off season, I'd also listen to the chatter. If he balloons up, if we get to that 2.5 to 3 WAR, if we're seeing the batting average, we're seeing the on base especially going up and the slugging staying similar or increasing, and you hear rumblings of a long term deal, I'd pull the trigger. I'd absolutely pull the trigger because I think he's somebody that, already he's got 17 home runs. He's hitting with power. That's something that, especially in the short top position. And this year, I feel like he's still showing good defense. I know that was a knock on him last year. I feel like he's showing some decent defense. I think he's got the potential, especially on a good team. You have good pieces around him that can support him. Especially if the Royals go up and pick out a bat this year in the off season. If you do some of that, I think there's a good reason to invest in Bobby Witt. So again, trying to get off the fence here. Those would be my caveats. If you see those, definitely pull the trigger. I think he'd be worth investing in. So without further rambling, I'm going to show you guys a couple of the cards that I have of Bobby Witt Jr. To wrap up the video. So without further ado, let's go to those. So these right here are my Bobby Witt cards, and actually, shout out to my brother. He got me this last Christmas. It's a case that I can lock up some of my more valuable cards. You see Patrick Mahomes up there in the top, a rookie of Salvi, a game used of Whit Merrifield, one of Salvi, but we're not going to focus on those. We're going to focus on these cards. So these are the three main ones that I have that are the most valuable. This one I bought just before he made his debut. This is a SGC 9.5 Bowman Prospects. It's a paper out of $4.99 of Bobby Witt. This here is a Onyx card, and you guys saw a video that I made on this one a while back on the channel. If you haven't seen it, go look it up. This is a non-licensed card, but I really liked it. It's out of 5. It's signed by the artist on the back, and I just love the Kansas City skyline. I think this card would have been a perfect, for the city of Bobby Witt, and we've heard my rantings on why they didn't choose him as opposed to Whit Merrifield. I'll never know. But, I think this does a really good job of like hiding the logos without making it look super weird. I hate seeing a helmet where it's just a blue helmet that they're wearing. So I think this does a really good job with the angle that they chose of making it a non-licensed card that looks really cool. And then this card here, this is a black out of I believe it's $2.99. I think it's $2.99. And this is from Topps 2022 Series 2, and this is of Bobby Witt Jr., and this was pulled out of a Mojo break that I did with them. Picked the Royals, and this was the first time in them opening their cases that they pulled this card out. It's got a little bit of a bumped edge on the side, so it's not one that necessarily you'd want it graded, but man, it's a cool card. It's a cool moment, and to get a rookie card of Bobby Witt Jr. In that break, it was just perfect. Absolutely perfect. So those are the ones I've got. Guys, this is going to end the video. Thank you so much for watching the video, and actually I'm going to, I was going to switch my camera around, but I may have to stop the video, and I don't want to do that. So we're just going to end the video as you look on the beautiful faces of these cards here of Bobby Witt Jr. Again, thank you so much for watching the video. In the comments, I would love to hear your thoughts. Are you going to be investing in Bobby Witt Jr.? As a Royals fan, are you investing in Bobby Witt Jr.? As just a baseball card guy, are you investing in Bobby Witt Jr.? And if not, what are the things, what's the criteria you need to see him improve? What are the areas you need to see him grow in to invest in his cards? That'll do it, guys. If you haven't, please smash that like button, comment, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, without further ado, blessings.